Subscribe. How you guys doing? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I hope you like this video. This is breaking news, you guys, coming from CNN. Four current, former Louisiana police officers federally charged in the death of Breonna Taylor. Four current and former Louisiana police officers involved in the deadly raid of Breonna Taylor's home, including detectives who worked on the search warrant and the ex-officer accused of firing blindly into her home, were arrested and charged Thursday with civil rights violations and other counts, Attorney General Merrick Garland said. The charges mark the first federal counts levied against any of the officers involved in the botched 2020 raid. In addition to civil rights offenses, federal authorities charge the four with unlawful conspiracies and unconstitutional use of force and obstruction. Joshua James, Kelly Godlett, and Kyle Meany were charged with submitting a false affidavit to search Taylor's home ahead of the Louisville Metropolitan Police Department's March 2020 raid, and then working together to create a false cover story in an attempt to escape responsibility for their roles in preparing the warrant affidavit that contained false information, according to court documents. They were also accused of conspiring after the shooting to cover up that the warrant was based on false information, as well as making false statements in interviews with criminal investigators. We allege that Ms. Taylor's Fourth Amendment rights were violated when defendants Joshua James, Kyle Meany, and Kyle Godlett sought a warrant to search Ms. Taylor's home, knowing the officers lacked probable cause for the search. The affidavit falsely claimed officers had verified that the target of their drug trafficking investigation had received packages at Taylor's address, but James and Godlett knew that was not true. We further allege that defendants James and Meany knew the search warrant would be carried out by armed Louisville Metropolitan Police Department officers, and that conducting that search could create a dangerous situation for anyone who happened to be in Miss Taylor's home. James, apparently virtually from a detention facility wearing shorts and a polo shirt, entered a not guilty plea to the charges. Prosecutors are not requesting that he be detained pending trial, but they ask that he be prohibited from contacting any possible witnesses or defendants in the case. Brett Hankison, who fired 10 shots into Taylor's home and was acquitted on state wanton endangerment charges earlier this year, was indicted on 2 federal counts of deprivation of rights under color of law. Hankison's attorney declined to comment. Only Hankison was charged at the state level. Goddard and James met in a garage weeks after the botched raid and conspired to relay false information to investigators, the Attorney General alleges. Officers who carried out the search warrant were not involved in the drafting of the warrant and were unaware it contained false information, the Attorney General said. Hankison was on scene when the search warrant was executed and is accused of willfully using unconstitutionally excessive force. Woo, this a lot, y'all. We share, but we cannot fully imagine the grief felt by Breonna Taylor's loved ones and all of those affected by the events of March 13th, 2020. Breonna Taylor should be alive today. Civil rights attorney Ben Crump, who represents the Taylor family, applauded the charges as well as the tough fight waged by Taylor's family, attorneys, advocates, and community members. Today was a huge step towards justice. We are grateful for the diligence and dedication of the FBI as they investigated what led to Breonna's murder and what transpired afterwards. The justice that Breonna received today would not have been possible without the efforts of the Attorney General, the Assistant AG for Civil Rights, Kristen Clark, Crump said in a statement. We hope this announcement of a guilty plea sends a message to all others involved. Who pled guilty? Okay. To all others involved officers at the time to stop covering up and time to accept responsibility for their roles in causing the death of an innocent, beautiful young black woman. In January 2021, the LMPD terminated James and his colleagues Miles Cosgrove. Cosgrove was fired for his use of deadly force in firing 16 rounds into Taylor's home and failing to activate his body camera, according to a copy of his termination letter. James was fired for failing to complete a search warrant operations plan form and being untruthful about verifying that Taylor's previous boyfriend, Jamarcus Glover, had been receiving packages at Taylor's home, the termination letter said. Following his termination, James' attorney Thomas Clay said the move was not unexpected and promised to fight to have his client reinstated. It's our position that he did nothing wrong in any of the activities relating to the search. Cross. Okay, hold on, y'all. Costco fired the shot that killed Taylor, Kentucky Attorney General Daniel Cameron said, adding that the shooting was justified because Taylor's boyfriend fired the shots first. And we know that child. Listen, somebody busting in your house in the middle of the night, and you have a gun, you're gonna use it. That's it. The article goes on to just get into more details about all of that. This is from CNN.com. If y'all want to read the whole article, y'all can. But I wanted to bring y'all this breaking news. Listen, one, we know it doesn't bring Breonna Taylor back. Two, it shouldn't have had to come to this. Three, there's no guarantee that anything is going to go beyond this. But what we can celebrate today is that something did happen. People are still paying attention. And the marches, the protests were not in vain. So for all those who were out there protesting and marching for Breonna Taylor, people who continue to say her name, people who continue to keep her name out there and keep her story alive, this is a victory for you. However it ends up, we can't control that. But this is a victory for you. And I applaud you all. And with that, let me know what you think. Put it in the comments. Peace.